Day 25. Purity without shame. Understanding the difference between innocence, suppression, and genuine inner purity. Inspired by the Grail message of Abdrushan. Note: this lesson uses a Grail message-inspired spiritual framework while distinguishing spiritual discipline from shame, fear, repression, and misinformation. Sexual feelings themselves are a normal part of human development. Maturity concerns how they are understood and directed. Theme: purity is not fear of sexuality, it is clarity in the way sexuality is governed. Opening reflection. The word purity has sometimes been presented in ways that produce fear. A young person may begin to believe, having sexual feelings means something is wrong with me. An adult may believe, if I have ever made a sexual mistake, I am permanently unworthy. Another person may suppress every thought, emotion, or question concerning sexuality because they fear being judged. But this is not genuine inner freedom. Sexual feelings are part of human development. Their appearance does not make a person morally corrupt. The question is not, do I experience desire? The deeper question is, how do I relate to desire, and who governs my choices? From the perspective of the Grail message, purity is best understood not as ignorance of sexuality but as the clear, harmonious ordering of the inner life. Purity means that thought, feeling, desire, and action increasingly stand in harmony with truth, love, dignity, and responsibility. 1. Innocence is not ignorance. A child does not need to know everything about sexuality in order to be innocent. But innocence should not be confused with ignorance. As children mature, they deserve truthful, age-appropriate education about their bodies, personal boundaries, puberty, reproduction, appropriate and inappropriate touching, consent, online safety, and how to seek help if someone violates their boundaries. Protecting innocence does not mean keeping young people uninformed. It means protecting them from exploitation while giving them knowledge appropriate to their development. Truth protects better than ignorance. 2. Purity is not suppression. Suppression says, I must pretend I have no sexual feelings. Purity says, I recognize my feelings without allowing them to rule me. Suppression often produces fear and inner conflict. Healthy self-mastery produces understanding and freedom. A sexually mature person can acknowledge attraction without immediately acting upon it. They can appreciate beauty without turning another person into an object. They can experience desire without believing that desire must be satisfied. They can say, I feel this, but I freely choose what I do with it. That is strength. 3. Desire is not the same as action. This distinction is essential. A person may experience an unwanted sexual thought. That thought does not automatically define their character. A person may experience attraction. Attraction does not automatically require action. A person may experience temptation. Temptation does not mean failure. What matters is the conscious response. Do you deliberately nourish the thought? Do you turn it into fantasy? Do you seek opportunities to act upon it irresponsibly? Or do you acknowledge it and redirect your attention toward what you have consciously chosen? The ability to choose is where self-mastery develops. 4. The danger of sexual shame. Shame says, something is fundamentally wrong with me. Healthy remorse says, something I did was wrong, and I can change. These are profoundly different. Shame attacks the person. Responsibility addresses the behavior. If you have made mistakes, learn from them. If you have been harmed, seek healing. If you have developed an unhealthy habit, seek support and change it. But do not build your identity around your worst moment. 5. Purity includes how we see others. Purity is not simply about controlling one's own sexual behavior. It also concerns how one regards other people. A pure attitude asks, can I see another person beyond their appearance? Can I respect their boundaries? Can I appreciate beauty without objectifying? Can I accept rejection without resentment? Can I love without possessing? Can I remain truthful when desire is strong? The purity of a person's inner attitude is revealed particularly when they have the opportunity to exploit another person but choose not to. 6. Purity in marriage. Purity does not end when a person marries. Nor does marriage mean that every sexual impulse should automatically be acted upon. Within marriage, purity includes mutual respect, fidelity, honesty, consent, tenderness, responsibility, consideration of health, and respect for each partner's dignity. A married person can therefore live either selfishly or nobly. Marriage provides a relationship of commitment. It does not automatically produce inner maturity. 7. Purity is also about what we consume. What enters the mind matters. This includes pornography, sexualized entertainment, degrading jokes, exploitative conversations, social media content, fantasies deliberately cultivated for gratification. Again, the principle is not everything sexual is evil. Rather, what repeatedly weakens my ability to see myself and others clearly deserves examination. The goal is not fear. The goal is freedom. 8. A pure person is not a fearful person. True purity produces qualities such as peace, clarity, self-respect, respect for others, emotional stability, responsibility, sincerity, freedom from compulsive behavior. If a person's concept of purity produces constant terror, obsessive guilt, hatred of the body, or hatred of other people, something has gone wrong in the understanding. Light brings clarity. Truth does not require psychological torment. Practical exercise. The purity test of 3 questions. Whenever you face a sexual thought, desire, relationship, or decision, ask 1. Is it truthful? Am I being honest with myself and the other person? 2. Is it respectful? Does this honor the dignity, freedom, and boundaries of everyone involved? 3. Is it responsible? Am I prepared to accept the consequences of my choice? If the answer to one of these questions is no, pause. Do not rush. Seek a wiser course. Reflection questions. Have I confused purity with fear? Have I ever felt ashamed simply because I experienced normal attraction? Do I know the difference between a thought, a desire, and a deliberate action? What does genuine self-mastery mean to me? Do my attitudes toward sexuality produce greater freedom or greater fear? How can I teach young people about sexuality without either shame or recklessness? Daily practice. Today, whenever a sexual thought or feeling arises, practice calm awareness. Do not panic. Do not condemn yourself. Do not automatically follow it. Simply observe. This is a feeling. Then ask, what response is consistent with the person I choose to become? Make your choice consciously. Daily affirmation. I do not fear the powers placed within me. I seek to understand and govern them wisely. My worth is not determined by passing thoughts or feelings. I choose truth instead of shame, self-mastery instead of suppression, respect instead of objectification, and responsibility instead of impulsiveness. May my inner life become increasingly clear, peaceful, and aligned with what is noble. Closing meditation. Imagine a clear window. When the glass is clean, sunlight passes through naturally. When the glass becomes covered with dust, the light appears dim, not because the sun has become weaker, but because the window has become clouded. The human inner life can be similar. Purity is not creating the light. It is removing what prevents the light from shining clearly through one's thoughts, feelings, and actions. Fear does not clean the window. Honesty does. Self-awareness does. Wise choices do. Love does. Truth does. Closing thought. The mature human spirit does not seek purity by becoming frightened of the body or ashamed of sexuality. It seeks purity by bringing the whole of life into conscious harmony with truth. Sexual feelings may arise. Attraction may arise. Temptation may arise. But none of these has to become your master. Purity is the freedom to experience human life without surrendering the direction of your life to every impulse that arises within you. And when purity is joined with love, wisdom, responsibility, and respect, sexuality ceases to be a source of confusion and becomes one aspect of a larger, purposeful human existence. Tomorrow, Day 26, the higher purpose of sexual energy, directing vitality toward love, creativity, service, work, and spiritual growth.